who is currently in his 19th two-year term in the U.S. House of Representatives. He serves as a senior member of the Foreign Affairs Committee and is chairman of its Africa, Global Health, Global Human Rights, and International Organizations Subcommittee. Please welcome Congressman Chris Smith of New Jersey.
Thank you very much. And thank you for this invitation to be here. Again, now the 23rd meeting on Human Rights Day for Vietnam. And Senator Cornyn has left, but I want to thank him for his very, very effective leadership in the United States Senate on behalf of religious prisoners, political prisoners, journalists. He has been a light over here on the Senate side. I see T. Kumar over here, who has testified so many times on behalf of religious freedom and other human rights that are being abused with impunity by the Vietnamese government. Scott, nice to see you again. And Dr. Tong, who's in the back, who I've worked with now for about 25 years. First, on the people who were in the camps as part of the comprehensive agreement, to help bring them who were falsely put out of refugee status, and about 20,000 people as a result of an amendment that I've worked with Dr. Tong and many of you with, was enacted, and it at least gave them that second look so that their refugee status could be ascertained and passed, in places like High Island in Hong Kong and elsewhere throughout the region were re-reviewed, and they came to the United States as they should have been. I especially want to thank Dr. Kwan for again organizing this event this year, to his brother, Dr. Dan Quay, who I met in Hanoi in 2005, and was just bowled over and impressed to my deepest core with his irrepressible belief that a better day will be for Vietnam, and that it's a matter of when and not if we are persistent in promoting the agenda of fundamental human rights. So thank you again, all of you, for being here. You know, the unified voice of the Vietnamese community serves as a necessary conscience for Congress, and that is not just Congress, but the White House, the State Department. When you speak, we listen. When you speak with such authority, and I just got the most recent report, and I think that gives us and all of us who try as best we can to make policy and to stand up for those who are disenfranchised and persecuted, a better roadmap as to how to go forward. So thank you for that. Your voice is needed now more than ever. The new administration is just taking shape. My hope is that we can have a profound impact on the prioritization of human rights. There's much talk about, there are obviously hot spots all over the world, North Korea being among many of those that just cry out and beg remedy. But at the core of it all has to be human rights and fundamental freedoms. And when we speak that truth to power and never let that slip or become compartmentalized so that it's not part of the main dialogue, I think we do a grave injustice to the cause of human rights. Nguyen Van Dai, who I met in 2005 in Hanoi, and then a year later when he was here in the United States, obviously he continues to be held. His wife last year, day before today, or May 10th I should say, testified at one of my hearings on Vietnam human rights abuses, and she was spectacular in her courage and in her defense for her husband. So we need to allow those witnesses and the ongoing persecution to truly mobilize us to make this a priority. And I think when we do that, we will see amelioration of human rights abuses in general, and hopefully a matriculation from dictatorship to a functioning democracy, which every single man, woman, and child in Vietnam deserves. There are those who say that an emphasis on values creates obstacles to advancing the United States' national interest. I believe that sells out the best and the bravest and the brightest of Vietnam. Yes, we need to talk on a variety of issues, but at the core of it all, like I said before, are human rights. There is a connection between freedom and fair trade, between the rule of law and international security. There's a direct connection between the United States' power and prosperity and the advance of justice, human rights, and the rule of law. U.S. leadership is required to demonstrate that principles and interests are not, I say again, not incompatible but necessary for better relations. No government that represses its own people and restricts fundamental freedoms can be a trusted ally of the United States. No government that censors the internet or tortures and jails dissidents can be trusted with generous trade or security benefits. The president must make sure the Vietnamese government understands that major improvements are necessary for a strong and healthy partnership between our two countries. He should make clear that the further expansion of trade benefits and security partnerships are conditioned on significant, verifiable, and irreversible improvements in human rights and democratic freedoms in Vietnam. As I know, all of you know, for the last four Congresses previous, I've offered and sponsored the Vietnam Human Rights Act. It has passed the House with overwhelming margins, bipartisan to the core, and yet it never got a vote in the United States Senate because holds were put on it. That's unfortunate. That was a missed opportunity like few others. I am preparing new legislation now that hopefully will ensure progress on human rights as a centerpiece of the U.S.-Vietnamese relations. Last year, at the end of the year, and we have a press release that goes through some of the points on it, I was able to get past the bill that I sponsored, and I want to thank Scott Flipsy for his dogged work on that legislation. He almost died. That legislation reauthorizes and expands the International Religious Freedom Act, authored by the champion, Frank Wolf, and we named it after Frank. But some of the things that it includes, and we have a press release that goes over the bullets, but it's far better than a mere bullet. It creates a designated persons list for individuals who commit egregious violations of human rights, totally compatible and works synergistically, I believe, with the Global Magnitsky Act to hold individuals to account. You torture a religious person, or a cleric, or anyone in Vietnam or any other country, we hold you responsible, not just your country. It also creates a comprehensive religious prisoners list so that we start really chronicling who these people are and have an actionable list that our president, our secretary of state, all the various people at state, and hopefully congressmen and women and senators, particularly when they travel, can pick up that list and say, what about Win Van Dyne? What about the Venerable Thich Quang Do and all the other people who have been so horribly mistreated? And I think that kind of specific mention of individuals will make a huge difference, and someday Vietnam will be free. God bless you. Wow,